thanks for joining us. I'm Stacey Skryzak.
And I'm Dawn Sterling. Securing federal funding to address homelessness could turn into a competition across the nation.
Last Thursday, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development announced a competitive grant application to secure funding. Now, the grant is officially known as the 2025 Fiscal Year Continuum of Care Competition, with the announcement of $3.9 billion in funding.
The Trump administration says the COC program was intended to be a national competition to select the most effective and innovative programs. Now, Illinois organizations are speaking out against this competition and urging the Department of Housing and Urban Development to reconsider its plan.
News Channel 20's Monique Davis is live now to share why organizations say this could actually have a negative impact on Illinoisans. Monique.
That's right. Nearly 300 Illinois organizations signed a letter to HUD Secretary Scott Turner stating this competition could cause funding gaps. One of the main concerns, putting a cap on federal resources used to fund Illinois permanent supportive housing. Housing Action Illinois is a network of organizations that work to end homelessness. They say currently more than 80% of federal funding is used for permanent housing in Illinois. Under the competition, funding will now be capped at 30%.
The funding generally goes through nonprofit agencies all around the state, but mostly they're using money to pay landlords and rental property owners in the private market to provide rental housing and rental subsidies for people who previously had been homeless.
If the contract ends and there's a funding gap, Palmer says Illinois agencies will not be able to continue supporting those programs. The signed letter calls for HUD to continue its funding cycle that was previously approved by Congress and renew them for an additional year. Palmer says many people who are receiving rental assistance are people with significant disabilities and senior citizens. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Monique Davis. Back to you.
Thanks, Monique. Coming up at 6, we break down how this program could affect Central Illinois agencies.
New information, the Trump administration changing how organizations apply for grant money to address homelessness. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development will now use a competitive application process to dole out $3.9 billion in funding. The Trump administration says the Continuum of Care competition is intended to be a national competition to select the most effective and innovative programs. Now, Illinois organizations are speaking out against this competition, urging the HUD department to reconsider its plan. News Channel 20's Monique Davis is working for you to share how Central Illinois organizations could be affected. Monique?
That's right. Illinois homeless organizations say they are concerned that the Trump administration made this decision without going through Congress or receiving input from stakeholders across the nation.
The competition that HUD has begun with community applications due in mid-January, it really completely changes, almost 2 decades of how HUD has worked to support communities to help people end homelessness.
Illinois organizations working to combat homelessness could see a significant reduction in federal funding. Last week, the Trump administration announced a 30% cap on funding that could be used for permanent supportive housing. In Sangamon County, Josh Sabo with Heartland House says that could negatively impact families who depend on this assistance.
Programs funded from HUD in Sangamon County are currently serving 79 people in roughly 40 households. So we would see a 70% reduction in the number of people we could serve with that funding.
A domestic violence support organization in Champaign, Courage Connection, does not receive direct federal funding with HUD. Instead, they partner with their local continuum of care service providers who work with the homeless.
Being part of this network or this continuum within our local community, we're able to make sure that survivors that we are not able to assist through our internal programs, we have those community connections.
France says under the competition program could come a loss of permanent supportive housing vouchers. She says people who rely on these vouchers were guaranteed their rent would be paid, but now it could be stripped away.
When you look as a service provider to the homeless in the area, even if it is through DV, we are going to have to absorb kind of the displacement that occurs when these vouchers are lost.
Nearly 300 Illinois organizations signed a letter to the Trump administration asking them to make a quick decision in reconsidering their plan. Reporting live in Springfield, I'm Monique Davis. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Monique. Now, Housing Action Illinois spearheaded the letter to the Trump administration. The competition's for the fiscal year 2025, and Housing Action Illinois says the Trump administration didn't make the announcement until mid-November, although the fiscal year ended September 30th. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch more videos from News Channel 20.